If you're traveling to London by plane, then you'll have a few options for getting yourself from the airport into London, but figuring out which one is the best for you will depend on a couple of things, which I'm going to tell you about in this video. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Jess and I make videos for people who are coming to visit London, and I have a special freebie for you at the end of this video. Okay, the first thing you need to know is that we have multiple airports here in London, so you want to make sure you know which one you are flying in and out of when you're trying to figure out which transportation option is best for you. All of the airports will have the following options: a shuttle bus, taxi, or a train or a tube, but figuring out which one works best for you is going to depend on these things. First of all, what is your budget? If you're on a really low budget, then you're probably going to end up going for one of the National Express buses, or if you're flying into Heathrow, then you might find that the tube is actually going to be pretty inexpensive for you. If you don't care about how much you spend, then of course taking a taxi is going to be the most convenient and the most comfortable option, but obviously depending on if there's traffic and how far your hotel is away from the airport, that actually could really start to rack up. Generally speaking, the more that you're gonna spend, the more comfortable you're gonna be. Then you need to consider the time of day that you're arriving to the airport, because if it's during rush hour, then that means that buses and taxis are gonna take a lot longer to get to your destination, and also it means that taxis and Ubers are gonna be a lot more expensive because more people are trying to hail them and you got traffic and all that stuff. Also, if you're landing really late at night, like past midnight, then your options of what you can take might actually decrease, because some trains and tubes will stop running, so you might actually be stuck with taking a really long night bus or a taxi. You'll also want to look at how far away your hotel is from the airport, because I imagine that you're going to want to drop your stuff off to your hotel or your Airbnb as soon as you get into London, and depending on where you're staying, that could also factor into what you ultimately take to get to your hotel. For example, if you are staying in Paddington and you're flying into Heathrow, it's very easy for you to take the Heathrow Express, and you can actually save money if you book your tickets in advance. It'll be a lot cheaper than taking a taxi or an Uber. On the other hand, if you're staying really far away from the airport, then a taxi might just be way too expensive for you, but then you're also gonna have to lug your bags onto the tube, and that might not even be worth it, and you'd rather just pay the money. So how do you figure out for yourself what's gonna be the best option for you? Honestly, what I would do is use either Citymapper or Google Maps to figure out what routes are available for you to get from the airport to your specific hotel or your Airbnb. And the key is that you need to adjust in the app to make sure that you're accounting for the arrival time of when you will be getting into the airport. That way you'll see only the options that are available at that time of night. So like I said, if you land really late in the evening, then your options are going to be a lot less limited. So you'll want to know if you're actually not going to be able to take the train that you originally thought that you could. And if you're still not sure, then you can get my London 101 guide, where I have listed out by airport all of your different transportation options for all different budgets. And you can get that by clicking the link that's down in the description box of this video. And for more tips for your trip to London, then you can click the box popping up below me to watch another London tips video. All of the airports will have the following options. If you take a taxi, hotel, or your Airbnb.